Hey guys, this is gonna be part 4, I believe, of my building R2 series. Um, as we've been over in the past, if you don't remember, he's a 4/5 scale r2d2. Um, the only reason he's smaller is because the dome I had happened to be a little bit smaller than the actual one. Not by much, but still enough for it to really affect it. But still, like, I got the dome for free, and dome has problems, which you've been over, but maybe down the road I'll fix it and I'll actually put the panels in and stuff. But for right now, I'm just trying to get him there. The dome has lights, which were in the previous video. You can go check out. Um, and in the last video, we talked about attaching the arm or the legs to the body, which I have since done. I did this morning. This is when I filmed the other video. So we screwed on the shoulder hub with 3 screws. It would have been 4, but when I first did it, I broke off 2 heads and instead of 4, so it was like a plus sign almost, and I broke off 2 of them because I was using an impact driver when I should have just been using a normal drill. So me and my dad had to rock it, until eventually, and then we drilled out next to one of them and we were able to pop it loose, and then we twisted it off, and I took a vice grip and I twisted those out. So I had to get new screws. Luckily, the holes were not damaged inside of the leg, and I reused one of the holes that had the broken off screw in it, and the other one I just didn't use, and it still held great. We put E6000 in between the leg and the shoulder hub, so that should be plenty strong. And then I use the metal flange with the whatever that thing is called. I cannot remember. I forgot this in the other videos as well. It's a little tiny Allen wrench. Duh. So that is on there, and there's the metal pipe. I cut that down. The length of mine is 14 inches. Now for the actual one, probably will be bigger, but that's how big mine was. I also cut these little tiny rectangle shapes to fit into the little compartment I had, and I had to take off the top bearing, which I'm not the happiest with, but it fits mine, and maybe down the road I'll get another one, but right now it's okay. And so I glued it, and then I nail gunned it in the bottom, and I nail gunned it across the top, and so that gives a good hold on it. And then to attach them, I'm still working on a good system for this, but let's say, for example, this is an Allen wrench. I can put that down in there, and it goes right into the socket, or I can tighten it, or if I want to take off the legs when I'm putting on the skin, so that would be helpful. I may also, because only one of them has to be undone to take off a leg to take off both legs, because you can just slide the pipe right out. So I may pick a side and then drill like a hole, or a cut out a little section where I can turn the legs and I can turn it in or whatever. Not sure yet, but that's what I got right now. The only other thing is, when I was cutting the holes for this, I don't have a hole saw or Forstner bit. I thought I had a Forstner bit, but I don't. So I didn't have a hole saw that fit. So I had to drill some normal drill bit holes in it, and then I had to take a jigsaw, cut a rough hole. Then I took a Dremel inside to get closer. So this one's pretty tight. This was the first one I did, but it was a little bit too loose. So I put this little tiny block underneath it, which has a little groove cut in it from my Dremel, and I nail gunned it in right here, and then I was able to turn this a little bit, which then push on the pipe, because this leg was at a certain height and this one was down lower. Not by much, but it was enough that it threw it off, and I didn't like the way it looked. So I put that in there. When I got it, I pulled it up to the correct height, which is pretty much at the top. Nail gunned it a whole bunch of other times. It's solid now. It's all good. The other thing I'll have to do is I'll have to mark. Well, I've already marked it, but they're inside right now. And I'll have to drill probably a screw or bolt through here to keep it from sliding this way, because they tend to do, and they have a certain distance where they can kind of move a little bit, but I don't want that. So I'll do that, which will fix it from moving this way. It already moves good this way, which is what I want. And then the next thing I have to figure out is, because I want the legs to be able to come down like this, but then also stretch out to the desired degree, which I'm not entirely sure yet. You can see it's a little bit loose, so I have to tighten it up. I'm still working out the kinks on it, but for the most part, that's how it is. I'll have to figure that out, because I have to have it structurally stable for that to all work good. The other big thing that I did today was I was going to work on the central leg, but I decided, while I had the top bearing off, to try to cut in this groove. I've looked more into what the actual wood kits look like since I made this one, and I realized that mine was severely lacking in accommodation for the different panels, the accessories that go into it. So this is the first one, and then I had to measure, and since all of the files on astromech.com or astromech.net are for a life-size one, I had to scale mine down. I'm horrible with computers, so I had to do that all by like looking at pictures or images that have dimensions. Luckily, I found a picture of the legs that had all dimensions, and I did the whole thing from a few dimensions they had on there. The skins, or the body size, I got that from another picture, and then I got this kind of general design from some pictures I've looked at, and these skin designs, which I got off of a guy's channel. This Born in Blood Films, he's doing a DIY r2d2. He stopped 2 years ago. He hasn't finished it, but I think I found him online, and I think he's gonna start doing it again. So that's where I got the idea, and he included these in one of his video. And so it's just a generic what all the skins look like. So there's two of them. That's what the inner skin looks like. Flip it. That's the inner skin. And this is the outer skin in one more detail. You line them up right. I don't know if we can see this, but you can see the panel lines start to line up pretty well. But with this thing, I'm able to scale how big certain things are in comparison to mine. It's not specific to a full-sized or my size and stuff. It just depends on how I convert the dimensions of this thing to mine. And so that's what kind of these numbers are, and just kind of scribbled things down. But because of that, I was able to line up boxes up front a little bit better. And if you remember, you can go back in our previous videos, the whole front looks different. There's two of these circular rings, which you can see the remnants of here and here. This thing will be eventually taken out. Two rings, and then these two pillars going straight down. This would have not accommodated for the boxes at the bottom very well, because they need a bigger space, which is this height. I then took the middle ring, which was actually the one that went right here, and then this is the bottom ring, which then I moved up, chopped off here to accommodate for the boxes inside. I may not use these boxes, but just in case I decide to want to put a function in there, I can. The central vent boxes, they were out here a little bit more, so I had to bring those in. So now those are good. The pieces I cut off the bottom here, I used up here, which then give me the correct box for the little gripper arms. And I was able to cut out the groove for whatever the heck this slot is called. I don't know. But that's done. It looks a lot more realistic. Now, I have seen some wood kits and they have a lot more lines and panel boxes, but that's okay. This is good enough. The back, And it's got a pretty small access hole, so I may end up bringing these out and making a bigger curve lower down. Not sure yet, not the biggest priority. Um, the newest thing I've learned though is because of the tight clearance here, there's actually a line that goes straight across that is cut off, almost like that line right there. This is underneath the arm, and this actually is here. I was just marking where things should line up, but that same line should be right down here, and it should be cut off because there's a flat panel that goes right here, which doesn't really, I guess it's just another access piece or something, or like panel, but it's supposed to give this foot a little bit more clearance, or leg, not foot. But that was a little interesting, did not know that. And that's my current progress update. Um, and I put the shoulder hub in temporarily to get the kind of look, but it's looking good. So thanks for watching.